showtime. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the greatest show on earth. I am your ringmaster, and this is my circus. My friends and I are here to alert you to some of the clowns of the consumer world and to make sure that they're not making a joke out of you. On tonight's show, we go head-to-head with tablet computers, hear from some newlyweds who had the honeymoon from hell, and tackle Red Bull head-on. But we start tonight's show with the news that one of our own clowns is not very happy. Let's go and find out why. So what seems to be the problem, Mr. Chuckles?
Well, I was getting ready for tonight's show, and then I realised the makeup they've given me to wear has been tested on animals. I can't wear this.
Oh no, that's no good.
No, it's not. And what makes it worse is that I'm not the first clown to have this problem.
Well, what do you mean?
I've had clowns from all over the UK telling me that they've had problems with these face paints. We need face paints that haven't been tested on animals. It's unethical.
I think you're right, Mr. Chuckles. That's why I've asked Mr. Jonathan Williams to join us on the show tonight, who works as a top campaigner against animal testing for PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. Mr. Williams, why is it that clowns shouldn't be using these face paints?
Well, as Mr. Chuckles has already said, animal testing is very unethical. In the process of making these face paints, lots of animals are mistreated and neglected, which isn't acceptable.
So where does this happen, and is it very common?
Statistics suggest this is happening all the time, all over the world. All kinds of products can be tested on animals, not just face paints. This includes medicines, makeup, and even shampoo.
So do all companies test their products on animals then?
Not at all. There are a growing number of companies who are fighting against animal testing by ensuring their products are tested safely on people. That means more animals are protected and we feel better because of it.
So, in that case, what is it that PETA do to help this issue and what can we do?
In terms of what you can do, just be aware of the products you buy. Always check the packaging to see if it has been tested on animals. Most products we're proud to say they don't.
Very good advice indeed. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
You're welcome. I've bought Mr. Chuckles some special non-animal tested face paint to help him through tonight's show.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Williams. These face paints are much better.
Well, I'm glad that's settled. After all, you can't have a clown without face paint. Now on last week's show, you'll remember that we were discussing tablet computers. And this week, we've chosen our two favourites, the Apple iPad Air 2 and the Samsung Galaxy Note Pro. And now it's time for them to go head-to-head. But which of these two tablet giants will be the victor? Mr. Chuckles and I are here to decide. First of all, let's look at the price. The Apple iPad Air 2 starts at £300 for a 16GB model, which is the most basic you can buy.
But for just £80 more, you can have a Samsung Galaxy Note Pro with twice the storage space, a handy 32GB.
So in terms of paying for your storage then, the Samsung wins. Next up is the operating system. Apple's OS X system is very powerful, allowing for quick and easy use. But what about the Samsungs?
Well, I've been using the tab for the last week and honestly it struggles from time to time when you want to do multiple things. I'd say this one goes to the iPad.
Next up, general specs. The iPad weighs 437 grams and is only 6mm thick. It has an 8-megapixel camera, full HD video, and can be used constantly for around 10 hours.
The Note also has an 8-megapixel camera and full HD video. However, it's heavier than the iPad at 547 grams and is also thicker at 7.9mm. But the battery life lasts an extra hour, 11, compared to Apple's 10.
I'd say that's a point each. And finally, design. It's clear to see that Apple have come up with a very sleek, futuristic design that is very easy on the eyes. What do you think, Chuckles?
I have to say the Galaxy Note's design is simple, but it's just not as attractive as the iPads. That means we've got a winner.
We do indeed, but why not make the decision for yourself? For the full specs, head over to our website, www.customercircus.co.uk, and remember to try before you buy. Now, part of being in the circus means doing a lot of travelling, and a lot of the time that can be fun and exciting. However, two of our viewers got in touch with us this week to tell us of their most recent holiday experience that didn't quite go as planned.
This is Mr. and Mrs. Smith from Lincoln. Earlier this year they went on holiday to Cyprus to celebrate their honeymoon, but all was not as it seemed.
Our wedding was beautiful. I just married the man of my dreams, and we were really looking forward to spending 2 weeks together in Cyprus. However, as soon as we arrived, it was apparent that we hadn't got what we'd paid for.
When we arrived, we were shown to our honeymoon suite, which was great at first, but once we looked a bit further, we realised there were lots of problems.
The bed linen was filthy. There were stains on the curtains, and the taps in the bathroom were rusty, and there were cockroaches all over the floor.
We tried to speak to the manager, but he refused. We felt cheated and helpless. How could the happiest day of our lives come to this?
Now, we got in touch with Mr. and Mrs. Smith because we wanted to offer our help. After making several phone calls to the hotel, we managed to get in touch with the hotel's new manager, who was horrified to hear of their recent troubles. He has offered the newlyweds an all-expenses-paid trip to a location of their choice in order to make amends for their ordeal, and we hope they have a great time. Now, if you can relate to dodgy travel agents or have ever been on holiday and it wasn't what you paid for, then please do get in touch. Either call us on 0800 286 5419 or tweet us using the hashtag HolidayClowns. We'd love to hear from you. Now, last week we spoke to you about the dangers of false advertising and what that can mean for you. And we're joined in the studio today by Sarah Swing, a local trapeze artist who quite literally fell victim to this issue. Hello, Sarah. Can you tell us what happened?
Hello, yes. I was doing a trapeze act last week, and to get ready for the final stunt, I decided to drink a can of Red Bull in hopes it would give me wings as advertised. I thought if I had wings, there was no way the stunt could go wrong.
And what happened?
It went wrong. The drink never gave me wings, and I fell and broke my leg. I can't get back on a trapeze for over 3 months.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that, Sarah. Now, in the time between this week and last week's show, we sent Mr. Chuckles for an exclusive interview with the head of PR and advertising for Red Bull, Mr. John Bollinger. Here's what he had to say.
Mr. Bollinger, we've reports that your company is guilty of false advertising when it comes to your slogan, "It gives you wings." A trapeze artist drank some before her act, thinking that it would be able to help her fly, as a result of which she's now broken her leg. What do you have to say on this matter?
First of all, whilst this incident is regrettable, I don't feel like Red Bull, as a company, can take responsibility for this person's injuries. The slogan in question is a metaphor. We don't expect people to take it seriously and cannot be responsible for when they do.
This isn't the first time that this has been an issue. Last year, the same thing happened with the customer receiving a lawsuit of £13 million. Why hasn't your company done something to rectify this mistake? It's indecent.
I'm afraid I don't agree. There will always be people who take advantage of the good nature of our business. I don't feel that our advertising is deceptive, and again, it shouldn't be taken literally.
This isn't the only problem that's been brought up. You advertise Red Bull as an energy drink, where in fact it's just full of additives, sugars and colourings. Wouldn't a simple glass of water be more beneficial?
Red Bull is advertised as an energy drink for physical activities. We do not specify that it is superior to other products, but that is for the customer to decide for themselves. I have nothing more to say on the matter.
Now, whilst we may not have got all of the answers we were looking for, it is clear that there is an underlying problem at the company, and this is a problem that we will continue to pursue in further weeks. And I'm afraid that's just about all we have time for at the Circus today. Join me again next week when we'll be discussing dodgy toasters, mobiles and microwaves. A big thank you to all of my guests who joined us on the show tonight, and remember, when it comes to getting what you pay for, accept no funny business. Good night.